What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to show you a video that I edited for the Virginia redistricting. So I did a video, put it all together, and then I found out later that a judge struck this down. And so right now, this is in limbo. This whole redrawing of the districts is in limbo, but I do want to show you the information. So I do want to show you the video. So we'll watch the video first. And so here's the headline here: Virginia judge blocks redistricting referendum from being certified. So I'll go ahead and show you the video now, and then we'll talk a little bit about it at the very end. And so let's get right over to the information here. Now we're using US elections, and I pulled this off of Instagram. So what I want to show you here is first the numbers, and these aren't the final numbers. They're still counting votes. But when it comes down to it, what is this? 80, I think that says 83%. Reporting, and you have the yes vote at 50.3 and the no vote at 49.7. This will increase a little bit for the yes vote in the future, but that's what we're looking at right now in Virginia. And what we really want to know is how is this going to impact the districts in Virginia? And this is just one example. So look, District 1 here, you have Trump. This is currently a Trump plus 4.9, and it would move to a Harris plus 7.5. And so this would eliminate a Republican from this district. District 2, this was pretty much a toss-up, but still Trump plus 0.3%. It would now move to a Harris plus 1.3%. This doesn't guarantee that a Democrat would win this seat, but it gives the advantage to Democrats. District 3, this was a Harris plus 34.6. It would remain a Harris, but you see what they're doing is when we're looking at the redrawing of these districts, sometimes you're going to need to dilute some of the votes in certain districts in order to have more votes in districts where, let's say, it was a Republican-leaning district. Now in Virginia, they would make it more of a toss-up or more of a favor for Democrats. And so that's what they're doing here. So they're taking some votes from, or some voters from this district, and they're moving them down to some other districts. That's how they're doing the redrawing of these districts. Okay, and this is another Harris 32.6, and it would drop down to a Harris plus 15.9. And so that's what we would see in District 4. Now, District 5, we see Trump currently, Trump plus 12.2, and that would move to a Harris plus 8.5. District 6, that's a Trump plus 24.1. That would move to a Harris plus 3.1. So it'd go all the way. I mean, these are pretty much guaranteed seats here. Trump 24.1, Trump 12.2. These are currently solid Republican districts, and now they're going to move to Democratic districts. And looking at District 7, this was a Harris plus 2.8. It would move to a Harris plus 8%. District 8, this is a Harris plus 49.3, and they would move that down to a Harris plus 17.5. So you're basically evening out some of these different districts. This District 9 here, this is a Trump district, 43.9. It would move to a 49%. Now, why would they do this? Because this is already a solid Republican district. And so they would add some Republican voters here because that District 9 is not going to change. Okay, District 10, you have a Harris plus 8.3, and then it would move to a Harris plus 12.4. And then District 11, you have a Harris 34, and that would move to a Harris plus 13.4. And so essentially what this would do is it would move these districts into the Democratic column. So basically right now you have 6 Democrats, I believe, 6 Democrats and 5 Republicans in these different districts. And so with the redrawing, now you're looking at 10 Democrats and 1 Republican. And so that's if everything goes as planned. Now, that doesn't mean just because they've changed these districts doesn't mean that they're going to automatically vote for a Democrat or automatically vote for a Republican, but it just moves the advantage to Democrats with this redrawing. And I should also mention this, and this is US Elections posted this as well. It says, even though voters approved the constitutional amendment on April 21st, the Virginia Supreme Court could still invalidate the results, leaving the current congressional district unchanged. And then it goes on to say the court had denied a request to block the referendum from the ballot, allowing the vote to proceed, but it will review the amendment's legality after the election. And so it is possible that the Virginia Supreme Court could strike this down. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And the bottom line is when we're looking at this redistricting, it's really not going to benefit one side over the other. I mean, it's going to pretty much, you're pretty much going to see it as a wash. Democrats, I think, still do have a little bit of an advantage overall when it comes to the redistricting that we've seen. And so Virginia, you have +4 seats for Democrats, California +5 seats for Democrats. And I think Democrats have a real good shot at taking all of these seats. So 4 and 5, so 9 seats there. When it comes to Republicans, you have in Texas, they're saying +5. It's really not going to be +5. It could be +4 or +3. I think realistically, it's probably going to be a +3. Missouri, you have a +1 there. North Carolina, you have another +1 for Republicans. And then Ohio, you have a +2 for Republicans. And then Utah, they're going to have to carve out, and this is a court order, they're going to have to carve out a district for Democrats. And so that's going to benefit Democrats. So realistically right now, if you're looking at this information here, it's showing us that Democrats would have about 10 seats. They'd be able to gain about 10 seats. Republicans would gain about 9 seats. And so the change is not going to be significant for either side. Now, Democrats do have the advantage overall. Historically speaking, because the president is a Republican and you have Congress being run by Republicans, generally that midterm election is going to be a referendum on the president. If the president is not doing well, then you're going to see a flip. You're going to see Democrats take back control of at least the House and potentially the Senate. And so all this redrawing of congressional districts, it's really not going to make a big difference. And I talked about this several months back when they really started talking about redistricting. Remember how this started? This started from President Trump. President Trump came out and said, in Texas, we think we can win 10 more seats. We want to redraw those districts in Texas in order to guarantee that Republicans win 5 seats. That is what started it. And then from there, then we saw California say, okay, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to offset that by redrawing districts in California. And then you had other states that chimed in and said, we're going to do the same thing. And now here we are. And so all of this redrawing of lines, this is a direct result of what happened in Texas. And so now that you have all the information when it comes to the referendum, you have to understand you have a judge that's blocked this. And so what that means is there'll be an appeal and we'll have to see where it goes from here. But as I stated in the video, when it comes down to it, we're talking about 4 seats. Democrats, if we see a blue wave, if we see Democrats win the House, we're going to see them win by more than 4 seats. And so this is probably not going to be a situation where everything is riding on this redistricting. Everything is riding on these 4 seats. And so I just want to make that clear. Now, I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the judge striking this down after the voters came out in favor of redistricting? I want you guys to let me know what you think about that down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.